Well, it may be a little bit too early to plant a tomato plant, or is it? It is. But there's still a lot of things you can do around the lawn. The garden in one that happens in everyone's yard, it seems like, is mulching. Mulch can be very beneficial, except when it's not. So mulching in general, usually a couple inches of fine mulch is about the right amount. If you get too much, it can damage the plants. So that line between being beneficial and damaging can be a little close. So 2 inches is a good rule of thumb. If it's coarser mulch, you can go a little bit deeper, but the finer the mulch, the thinner it should be laid. Now, this is kind of a common thing, and you really do see a lot of companies do it this way, and it's wrong, just like you would be doing it wrong as well, which is putting mulch too far up on a tree trunk or a shrub. Think about the flare of that tree. The tree comes down and it's got a nice little flare to it. The mulch shouldn't go up above that, because that tissue is different on the trunk of the tree as it is in the roots, or as it is on the roots. So, and you can kind of see what happens. The roots of the tree start to grow up into that mulch that's been piled too high. So this isn't really that bad. If you pull it down, you'll start to see the flare. And so you just want to get it off the flare. Now, I will tell you it's a little bit high, but there's also a mound of dirt under there. So you can kind of see the flare. And so make sure that go out as wide as you'd like, but don't go any more up around the trunk, because it really is bad. It can girdle roots, and it really can lead to kind of the decline of the tree. And there's certain trees that are more susceptible to it. Now, the different types of mulch, this is kind of what this is just called hardwood mulch. And this is what you'd see in big piles everywhere along the interstate or in people's driveways. The downside of this mulch would be it is natural, and I hate when in about midsummer it starts to turn gray. And that's why the dyed mulches have become really popular. And it's dyed with a vegetable dye, and that will hold the color throughout the season. So these have actually become a little more popular, at least in the bags, but I mean, it is more expensive. This one is called triple ground. So same mulch, it's put through the grinder a third time. And the nice thing is it composts itself quickly. The downside, it's very thick and it can seal, so you don't want that any more than a couple inches. All right, so now if you're old school and like the pine nuggets, knock yourself out. You can go through, it's so coarse, I don't think you can hurt anything with it. Put it foot deep if you like. So if you're getting bulk mulch, think about doing the math before you just order mulch. So a yard of mulch, which is how bulk is sold, is 13 and a half of these bags. All right, so 13 and a half, and this bag right here at 2 inches thick will do 12 square foot. All right, so do a little math before you order the mulch, because the downside is once it's in the driveway, then you have to put it somewhere, and that's how you lead to damaging trees by putting too much mulch on. So it's going to be a great week to do a little mulching.